those who chose the elephant or the card of justice. This is your reading. So the elephant and justice is about a lot of ancestral karma, a lot of karmic debt. It can deal with past lives. It can also talk about real legal action in your life. Maybe you are going through something specific that has to do with, people fighting for justice for you on your behalf with renting or repairs or a car accident, a divorce, something along those lines. Something having to do with justice. Justice is on your behalf. Justice is done by the divine. So right now you have your spirit guides, your angels who are closely working behind the scenes right now on whatever this represents for you. We're going to get more cards and find out exactly what Spirit wants to talk to this group about. But it really is going to be in the vein of some sort of injustice was done to you, to your family. Hold on, I need to light this candle. That's so strange. I'm normally very specific about lighting my candle before I get started. And the energy behind me getting into your reading, I'm not somebody who reads something into everybody or every little thing that happens, but I do kind of feel like this is synchronistic in the sense that there is definitely an urgency behind this energy surrounding you, Pile 1. So what is Spirit doing on your behalf, or what is happening? What do your spirit guides want to talk to you about in regards to this Justice card? So we're going to get some tarot. And we're going to ask your guides, your angels, Spirit, what can we find out about in Pile 1 surrounding this sense of injustice? Before I realized the candle, I was talking about injustice done to family, or your family members were participating in some sort of injustice. That's why I bring up karma, past lives. Maybe you have felt like you're the black sheep in your family, or you feel like this injustice that's been done is something that maybe is more than just one instance, like one experience. As I said that, the 5 of Swords comes out. This is the blue jay. Now, the 5 of Swords talks about being betrayed. It talks about conflicting opinions. It talks about a lot of discord, a lot of sort of it's really hard to get anything done because everyone feels like they're out for each other, they're out for themselves. And you're always on the receiving end of this energy. So there's definitely something that has happened to you in your life. Like when some of these examples that we were talking about with your family, with feeling like maybe there's just something that you have personally been seeing a pattern of injustice in your life. We've got the 9 of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles, or the 7 of Fossils in this deck. So the justice that's coming to you, what your spirit guides want to talk to you about, Pile 1, is first and foremost, they're addressing this feeling. This feeling right here, the Deer, the 7 of Pentacles. You have been waiting. You've been looking for signs like this rainbow in the sky, synchronicities, trying to connect with Spirit along this path. You've been trusting and asking for guidance, asking for help. This is like a card of expectancy. You've been waiting for your justice to come. That's why I'm getting this feeling. This is like a long time coming situation for my pile ones, or at least the majority of you, as this is like a general read. But this Five of Feathers, this feeling of disappointment, betrayal, sort of having to do everything on your own because everyone else is out for themselves, you've been waiting to find something different. And if it has to do with something actual, like a legal situation of some sort, of contract, leases, mortgages, land, inheritance, like it can be so many different things, relationships, opportunities. If you're in the entertainment industry, which is coming through, like if you are somebody that's tried to be in any capacity in like pop culture, the influencer realm, social media, that kind of an entertainment industry, putting yourself out there, it might have felt like you have been, opportunities have been taken away from you, maybe because of how you look, how you present yourself, the story that you're trying to tell. But Spirit is really emphasizing that there is this justice that's coming in is going to manifest itself in two ways. One being you having your self-independence. This is the card of self-employment, of independence, obviously financial stability. But you can see that, like, in the representation of this card, having it being the wolf, there's like the idea of the lone wolf. But you can see that his friend, that he's like having a little conversation with, some sort of interaction with this bird, whether it be, a crow, a raven, a blackbird, whatever it is sitting amongst all of this person's, or this wolf, the accomplishments, the abundance, the territory of whatever this pentacles represents. This could be opportunities for you. This could be your own business. This could be relationships, like new relationships, because we have, the lone wolf who has a bird friend. So maybe he's a lone wolf to other wolves, but a friend to birds and other kinds of critters. And so you've had to walk your own path. You've had to become independent. You've had to stand on your own in many aspects of your life. I'm getting that these 9 pentacles are just so many different things for my pile ones. You are self-made, you are self-taught, and you've been really working on finding your voice. And that's like the form of justice that's coming in for you, is you transforming from this deer. Maybe you felt like you were a deer caught in the headlights often because of the way that people were treating you, because of the opportunity, experiences that you were, having, shown to you, and things that you had to live through and learn through. So that self-independence, that empowerment is coming through in the form of justice for you. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. You're going to be strong. You're going to be able to look at yourself and be proud of what you have done, the choices that you have made in your life. The second thing that's coming through is your spirit guides want to talk about the fact that you've got this King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands in this deck being the tiger, the guardian of branches. You can see he's wearing like a medallion, a sun medallion on his chest. He's got his little wand, his branch, and he is on the move. He's moving. He's not sitting. He's not looking. He's doing. He's doing him. He is inspired. He is creative. He is resourceful, confident. So this self-confidence that you are growing into, the things that you're going to be able to look around at your life, and, whatever this justice and this 5 of Swords that you've been sort of waiting on seeing alchemize, transmute, or, the Wheel of Fortune to spin in your favor, etc. You're going to realize that your life, you can look around and you have you and your spirit guides. Ooh, that's like a message too. Like, these birds could also be these signs and synchronicities. This could be you communing with your angels, with your spirit guides, because birds are always messengers in so many different cultures of, going between the angelic realm, messengers to the gods, essentially. So you have learned your own spirituality. And the Wands talks about creativity. It talks about spirituality. It talks about, your motivation, your energy to be able to go out and do the things that you're trying to do. This also talks about things that make you happy. So you learned what makes you happy. You learned what you resonate with specifically. What path of spirituality, what hobbies that you're trying to find. You're trying to, have self-love again, self-acceptance again. And that is turning into this radiating confidence that will inevitably attract these new experiences into your life. So the wolf and the tiger are the energies coming through that your spirit guides want to talk about, and want to bring to your attention, and sort of mention that, like, you will know that this justice is coming. They want to talk to you about, the waiting is no longer, like, this is a past tense energy. This is in the past. On the bottom deck energy, we have the Queen of Wands. Now, in the difference between the tiger is that she's lounging. She's like allowing her manifestations to come to her. She has the crown on her head and she has her wand, but she is in a state of receiving. So this expectancy of you receiving is going to turn into you doing, you feeling free enough to be able to pursue the things that you're trying to pursue. So let's get an astrology card to see if there's anything other than the current astrology and how that relates with your personal chart. What is spirit, your angels, your guides? What do they want to sort of bring out as something that can hold an additional message about this justice? Them working on your behalf? Are there any other planets or deities associated with that planet? Astrology that can help integrate this message further for pile 1. So we've got Libra, which is literally the card of justice. So we've got the scales there, just in case you needed any more confirmation. You are having a balancing of karma occur. And I'm not sure like what Libra is going to mean for you specifically in your chart, but this is something that your spirit guides would like to, give you further information on, further synchronicities, integration, etc. Okay, so this is something a little bit different. This is fun. Instead of an oracle deck, I found this game with my son when we were thrifting, and it's like a story game. So you have different cards with characters, some with action on them. They're all different. They all have different little critters and nature things. So are there any signs, synchronicities, or further messages that we can get from your guides, your angels, in regards to this message that they've talked to about today? Here's my pile 1s. It looks like we've got 2, and this is really interesting. Okay, so we have lazy lynx and forgetful elk. A few things. First and foremost, we've got the bottom deck energy, which was the Queen of Wands, and the lazy lynx, kind of in a very similar pose. And I think that that's a synchronicity for somebody. Spotted cats in general might be something that you personally, resonate with. The lazy lynx is not a lazy in a negative connotation. If you see this lazy lynx, they are resting. And I get 4 of Swords energy from this card, in the sense that like they're at peace. They're not stressing. And in the same way that the Queen of Wands allows things to come to her, this lazy lynx and this expectation card, and the message that we got with the Queen of Wands, this is really what I'm seeing with like the lazy lynx. Like, you can be in a state of relaxation. You don't have to be anticipating this justice to come in for you in order for it to come in, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to be so aware of your mindset at all times. You know how people are like high vibes only, and you know, if you start to doubt and you start to question and you start to ask spirit for more signs and more communication, then you're like switching your vibration and stuff. Like, there is a time and a space for all teachings. All spiritual teachings can be applied and done so in a healthy way for anybody who is trying to participate with those types of teachings. However, the trick with spirituality is that our brains, because of the society and the programming that we live in, want to so badly take something and apply it as the one-size-fits-all situation, even for ourselves. And the idea that high vibes or nothing else is the only way to manifest something, it takes a lot of the credibility, the magic, the mystique, the wonder of spiritual entities that we might believe in and work with. And for those of you connected to the idea of spirit guides, angels, a spirit team of some sort, maybe you work with animals, animal spirits, nature spirits. We're all into divinity. We all have a connection with divinity in our own unique ways. So spirit is telling you, according to this reading, what I'm getting is that there's nothing more that you could do. There's nothing that is on your shoulders. And if you don't do these things, then nothing's going to work out for you. Like, justice is a card of the divine working on your behalf. So you can relax and know that it's going to work out. Quiet your mind and allow yourself to feel those moments of peace, however fleeting and however often they occur, to just take that deep breath and just think about this cozy lynx and this Queen of Wands and this forgetful elk here. I'm getting a few messages from these cards as well, but I want to start with this one, which is that, like, maybe in the realm of vibe high, you know, you have been on this journey with spirit. You've been looking for signs and synchronicities. You've been, you know, patiently making decisions according to this expectation that you deserve better, that, you know, if you do the right things, then the right things will come to you. You've been holding your ground. You've been communicating with, you know, your spirit guides, with spirit, divinity, whatever that is. But maybe the things that you wished for yourself to be, like, more disciplined, or, you know, really rooted in your rituals and routines, or, you know, praying constantly. For those of us that grew up in church environments, I don't know if that, you know, has been a struggle for you in your thought process, but don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. For somebody who has OCD mental tendencies, which religious OCD is a thing, that might be something that's not a positive high vibe for you. And I think that spirit wants you to be gracious to yourself, wants you to be forgiving to yourself, because there's these expectations about the way that you've handled this injustice and betrayal done to you. You've been in a state of expectancy, and spirit sees you as this wolf and this tiger coming out in a new, transformed, beautiful, stronger version of yourself. And if you find that maybe you've been a little critical of your ability to tap in and out of feeling like it's going to be okay, you know, I'm getting that message from this. The other message that I'm getting from these two oracle cards is that there's justice coming with people who have claimed that they're forgetful or lazy when it comes to handling you, when it comes to handling relationship with you, when it comes to you know, fighting on your behalf, or betrayal or injustice or whatever. Like, maybe you've been gaslit and there's just been a lot of lazy and, you know, quote unquote forgetful people who haven't prioritized you, who have betrayed, you know, your trust in one way or another by being either forgetful or lazy. And that is also what is changing. That is what's coming. You know, justice is coming for you in that area as well. And it can be both. It doesn't have to be either of these messages or one or the other. It can be anything that resonates with you, take, and anything that doesn't, please, you know, leave for somebody else to receive as a message for themselves. But This is the message that I'm seeing for you, pile one. I love that Spirit is reminding you and all of us who are watching and trying to hear our spirit guides about this message, that, you know, there's nothing more that you can do. You've prayed the prayers, you've done the work, you've seen the signs, you've waited. And, you know, now the time is coming where you are going to realize how self-made you are, how proud you are of yourself, how often you've listened to your own intuition over, you know, the people that you've been surrounded by, these conflicts of interest and disagreeing, you know, opinions on what you should do and who you should be. And you're going to be able to take charge in your life because you're going to know, you know exactly what's for you. And you're going to be able to walk that path in full confidence, shining like the sun, feeling so empowered, inspired, and motivated. Justice is coming for you, pile one. The divine is working it out in your favor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those are all the messages that I'm seeing for you. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile two. For those of you who chose this crystal, the quartz crystal, or the cat, this is your reading. The cat in this deck is the High Priestess, the knower of secrets. And Spirit, your spirit guides, your angels, whatever you resonate with personally, wants to talk to you specifically about your magic, about your spiritual understanding and how you connect with divinity specifically. The High Priestess is somebody who knows, like, she has, hold on. She has like rites of passage. She has secrets. She's the knower of secrets, right? So there are secrets that you specifically, pile two, might have with the divine, might have in your practice that you haven't, like, you know, disclosed with everybody. Maybe you're a little bit a woo-woo, my pile twos. I'm getting some, you know, sorry guys, my dog insisted on joining me. So there's something here about, I was talking about my pile twos are a little bit weird, little woo-woo. Maybe you guys are into like darker sides of spirituality. Occultic things might sort of interest you. You know, maybe the dark feminine, specifically with this card, and just the energy that comes with it. And yeah, maybe those are some of the secrets that you keep from some of your other friends about what kind of things you're really interested in, what kind of topics on the spiritual realm that you really feel connected to. And the fact that, like I said, my dog wanted to come in and join, you might have a very strong connection to a dog of your own, or a family pet of some sort, or animals in general. Maybe you are somebody that just connects with animals on a deep level just instantly. And that's like another one of those like rites of passage that's like, not everybody, like, people can love animals, but like, and like, you know, be animal people, but they don't necessarily like connect with them, like feel like you can telepathically communicate with animals, or you and your dog, or, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like my pile twos know what I'm getting at here. So I want to go ahead, and knowing that the message that your guides, your angels, and spirit are kind of bringing forth today is this magic that specifically is for you, pile two. You've got your own way of doing things. You connect and hear and see and feel, you know, maybe the other side, maybe ghosts or angels or fairies. I said animals, channeling. I'm getting, you know, like divination, witches, witchcraft, Wiccanry, yeah, there's like a lot of stuff coming through with just this one card, the High Priestess. But this is also, the specific message is finding your own path. So pile two, What do your guides, your angels, want to talk to us about in regards to finding your own path? So we had 2 cards that flipped, and in conjunction with each other, with the message that we've already received, this is really exciting for my pile 2s. We have the monkey or the 2 of pentacles, 2 of fossils in this deck. You can see the yin yang right here. This is balance. This is the card of balance, but also it can be the card of switching. Something like flipping the script, like just from one extreme to the other, doing like a 180. Maybe there's been a time in your life, for instance, like we've been talking about the dark or the occult, and maybe now you feel like you really want to start connecting to, let's just say green witchcraft, like where you're like really into plants and gardening and, you know, baking or flowers. I don't know. Because we also have the Fool, Coyote, the trickster. And this is like the trickster, the energy coming with this and these 2 together. We've got the cat, the knower of secrets, the high priestess, the monkey, 2 of pentacles, and the trickster, the coyote or the fool. And these 3 cards together is giving that like there's a depth to you. There's like a depth to you that you've kept secret, that you've had this like personal side to yourself. This darker, deeper, and darker doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean occultic specifically. It just means that there's definitely people within the pile 2 that are watching this that have had those experiences where you are curious. You're a very curious person. And the switching to the trickster, it's giving bold trickster, sort of not taking themselves or life too seriously. These things that have felt so monumentally deep and personal to you are going to become a carefree way that you can view life through the lens of this Fool energy. Something new, this fresh perspective is coming to you. And it could be something absolutely different than what we're talking about with this High Priestess card. This is in regards to your spirituality, though. This is in regards to your path. So maybe there's something new that's coming along that you have not participated in. And that might previously have made you feel like, oh, well, that's just a whole bunch of hullabaloo. That's just some silly, you know, maybe it's angel numbers or astrocartography or, you know, something that maybe you were like, oh, that's silly, or, you know, something about your spiritual practice that is brand new to you and it has this carefree vibe, but you are either balancing the 2, where you're holding space for this very serious, very practical, very sacred, you know, a personal, intimate experience spiritually, or darker, occultic, curious, beat of your own drum kind of a vibe where you're like, I don't vibe with that because it's maybe not because it's trendy, but people who find trendy things, that's not me. I go to the beat of my own drum. And you're balancing that with, well, now I'm going to be a part of a community. Now I'm going to go join these people who are doing Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm connecting with, I don't know, something spiritually about that. Like, so it might not even be spiritual per se, but you're gaining some sort of freedom in your spiritual practice. And you could be switching from having one sort of way of doing things into having sort of a time period where you're now delving and dabbling. That curiosity is leading you into something that it hasn't been before. So it could be one or the other, where you're like kind of finding yourself switching between one thought process to another. You're just like ready for something new, or you're ready to adopt in addition to something new, and you're balancing. So let's get some more cards. Let's go ahead and shuffle this one more time. So spirit guides, angels, pile 2. What can we know about their specific personal journey, their magic? What do you want to talk to them about with this thing that's new? Let's talk about that, spirit. What can pile 2 see? What can you talk to us about this switch? What's coming up for pile 2? Nope. So we obviously have too many cards. And sometimes I'll read all the cards that try to flip over, but I just have a feeling that we're going to be able to get a nice and clean reading here. Spirit, what other messages about this new energy, this new spiritual practice for pile 2 and their specific journey? I mean, you definitely, you are aligning to other people. So like the example of sort of joining a community, if you've been sort of a loner when it comes to your spiritual, yeah, this came out twice. So we're definitely going to take it, and we're going to take all of these. We're going to go with it because I feel it, and that's how tarot reading works. You go with what you feel. It's all about energy. So let's talk about this. You are aligning to new people, okay? This is the Lover's card, the Heart Awakener. It's like the Two of Cups. It is alignment. This can be with you and your higher self, like you are like coming to an alignment within, you know, opposing sides of yourself. And that's also true of what we're seeing here, like a fun side and a practical side, like a sacred, observing, sort of traditional side, and maybe doing things differently. But I'm also really getting that you're going to be aligning with people. Perhaps one person, but I'm feeling more than one person, like a community or a new thought process within a community, like deconstructing community on TikTok, for instance, or, you know, people who are really into hiking in your area, like a group of hiking people. That can be a very spiritual experience, even though it feels fun and sort of carefree, and you're doing it with people, so you can connect with them on a different level. These are just examples, but Spirit really wants you to be open to this, to be not afraid and feel like imposter syndrome by reaching out and aligning with people and meeting up with people and experiencing something different in your spiritual walk when it comes to this. And it is going to feel carefree. It is going to feel fun and freeing and exciting, and you're just like gonna go for it. You're like not afraid. You've got this energy that you're just like ready to jump off the cliff, jump into the unknown, and this is meant to be, and you are safe and you are protected by this. There is this sense of feeling defense, like you've got your guard up. The Seven of Wands talks about being defensive. You can see this lizard is obviously, you know, showing his full capability of trying to show you how big he is, how scary he is. But we have this like rainbow in the back, which is very symbolic for so many reasons, from so many different perspectives and cultures. There is like, you have felt intuitively defensive and on guard because there has been a lack of alignment with people in your spirituality. You have had that loner, secret knowing side of you, and you are now opening up to being aligned instead of feeling closed off and defensive. So in the case of those of you that are watching, that you're opening up yourself to another side of yourself. We are all multifaceted. We're multifaceted and we're multidimensional beings. And this nuance about yourself is something that you're accepting. You're coming into alignment of an agreement of, I can have a carefree, fearless attitude, and I can also respect deities and energies and, you know, traditions that I don't want to like fuck around with, or, you know what I mean? Like that kind of energy is coming through as well. Over here as the clarifiers, we had 4 come out. And like I said, literally earlier in your reading, I don't normally do that, but these same 4 cards flipped over earlier. So I really feel this time in taking them that it's definitely like an emphasis, like an exclamation part for you. You have been hurt in the past, or you've been let down in the past in the spiritual sense by some sort of teacher, some sort of environment, people, ideas that you might have bought into, where you have reason to feel defensive and trying something new for yourself here. Whether that's aligning to a community, group of people, a different sort of thinking, a new practice spiritually, you have reason. Spirit is like acknowledging that like your defensiveness, your hesitancy, and like accepting this new side of you or this new experience, this new opportunity, these new people, that it's valid. Okay. But you have 3 cards coming out with this card that are telling you that this sense of defensiveness, you are meant to take that leap. You are absolutely on the path of alignment for yourself. You are following your intuition if you have felt that push to throw yourself into something new. We have the King of Swords. Okay. The King of Swords is a safe leader. Okay. Is not a toxic leader. This does not have to be a man figure. Eagles have long been associated with Archangel Michael and the angelic realm in general. Feathers are something that, you know, can be triggering for some people for certain reasons as far as like a spiritual messenger. But it also symbolizes in many cultures the presence of angels in your life, protection. You also have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Feathers, which in this deck is the stork. And I normally associate the Ace of Swords, which is this card in traditional tarot, as Archangel Michael and angelic protection as well. So the cards coming out together symbolize and signify to me in this reading that spiritually speaking, you are highly protected. So if it feels like something that you're curious about and you have this sense of hesitancy or fear, which Spirit has acknowledged is totally valid, but you can be reassured that you have so many guides, more than one are present in this reading. You have, whether they are angels, your personal guardian angels, or archangels that you work with or that you try to honor in your practice, or just your spirit team in general, you are protected. They are here with you in this move. And we have another card symbolizing this sort of switch being something that your spirit guides really want to encourage you to trust. You can trust that the wheel of fortune is spinning for you in your favor. And this new thing, this new experience, this new spiritual practice, this new, I don't know, community or whatever this is for my pile twos, this is something that in the past, because of your heartache, your disappointment, your feeling of defensiveness, the people in the community spiritually, the teachings spiritually that you felt duped by, that you felt frustrated with or let down by, that there was a reason that was something you were exposed to. And now, if it's something that you're coming back to that has given you something to be wary of, you are in a different place. You, energetically and spiritually, your wisdom is different. Your strengths are different. And if this is something new that you're sort of wary of because of a previous disappointment with something different and unrelated, there is this change that, like, the more that you go in this direction or the more that you add this to your practice, there's going to be something very magical about this that happens for you, my pile twos. This is really exciting. This could be you getting into channeling, you getting into tarot reading yourself. This could be you opening up to signs and synchronicities. This could be all of those things that we've kind of talked about. The Wheel of Fortune being present here is like you have been doing the work. Like you are ready to jump into this new adventure. You're aligned to do it either with people or you're aligning other parts of yourself. That duality, or that multifaceted aspect of yourself. And you're highly protected. Let's go ahead and get some astrology cards because regardless of what's going on in the stars, which we are all affected by eclipse seasons and retrogrades, etc. Each of us have a personal chart. You have a natal chart that will affect you specifically in a different way than is affecting the collective. And in addition to any of that information that you might be into, maybe astrology is something you're adding. We have 2 cards that have come out for you. These are either in your specific chart or something astrologically that's happening with either Venus or Mars is significant to this message for you right now. So look at your placement of Venus and Mars in your chart, or see what they're doing currently when you are watching and viewing this reading, to gain further insight about this specific new experience or opportunity that your spirit guides have been talking to you about. Bottom of the deck energy is strength, or the lion, ruler of the open heart. I really feel like, you know, that defensive versus sort of being open and carefree element to the strength card is really applicable in this reading. For our oracle deck today, I thought it would be really fun. I found this, it's a storytelling game at a thrift store. Got it for my son. He's learning to read, and we love to tell stories. But they have little critters and sort of action prompts, and I just thought it'd be fun to use as sort of an oracle deck for this reading to see if Spirit can give us any further synchronicities, further messages, alongside those that we have already had. So that one flew out. Ooh, mischievous raccoon. And look how cute that raccoon is. The mischievous raccoon energy I'm getting is matching this high priestess cat energy. I'm really feeling like your guides are emphasizing that maybe you see yourself as mischievous, you see this thing as mischievous, others have seen you as mischievous. There's this, think about raccoons in the symbolism that they hold, you know, being these scavengers, you know, operating at night, being sort of little rascals, essentially. But raccoons are extremely resourceful. They're super smart, and they have adapted really well to living in environments where humans have sort of taken over their habitat. And I think raccoons are also really cute, personally. So I think that there's like an element of cheekiness, kind of like a lighthearted energy with this, just like this coyote here. Bless me. And I think your spirit guides are kind of encouraging this. This is not seen as a negative thing. This mischievous is not like naughty or bad. It's like in the shadows, kind of dipping out and lying low and not, you know, announcing all of your moves. It's giving, you know, hermit energy. And as like a further message with this card, look at that. The bottom deck is Curious Octopus. Yeah, your curiosity might have been seen as mischievous in childhood or in your discovery of your spiritual journey. But your spirit guides are really coming through with these messages by saying, like, this is who you're meant to be. This is like a part of your specific way that you connect with divinity. Follow that curiosity. Even if you feel a little mischievous in the things that you might be getting into, you can have a carefree energy and expectancy about it because you're highly protected. You're so protected and so loved. And, you know, Venus and Mars, that motivation and the sort of luxury and the ability to have self-care and self-love and what you value, you're having motivation to change what you value with these astrology cards coming out today in this reading. So pile 2, this was a really fun reading for me. It's a little bit longer than pile 1's because there's just like so many things here within these cards and the energies that I'm getting. Your spirit guides and spirit really just want to remind you that, like, whatever decision you're making, it's okay. It's going to work out for you. You are protected. You are guided. This feeling of, you know, heartbreak, disappointment, pain, and feeling defensive about your specific personal path and your spirituality is absolutely valid, and it's a part of your story, and it's how you know where to go with your curiosity, because it's already been tested. So you are safe, you are protected, and whatever this sort of thing is, you can jump into it and have that carefree, lighthearted feeling, knowing that you're aligned, you're protected, and everything that you are doing is exactly what you're meant to be doing. That's what I just heard. Everything you're doing right now is exactly what you're meant to be doing. So get out of your mind and just trust that. Trust the universe and jump in. So if you like readings like this, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. And that's all the messages that I'm seeing for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. For those of you who chose the heart or the sea turtle, this is your reading. So starting off, the sea turtle is the nurturer of shells, or the queen of cups. And as you can see, this sea turtle is living her best life. She's not bothered. She's on a journey. Like, I don't see any land around her, any destination. She's like on her journey. And she's feeling really good about herself. The Queen of Cups talks about having this gift of self-love, this gift of, you know, emotional fulfillment and respect for oneself, like knowing what your boundaries are in order for you to feel loved, knowing that you need to take time for yourself. So those are some boundaries of implementing care for yourself. That's, you know, being like, I used to feel like self-love and self-care was staying up all night to hang out with my friends because I need connection with human beings. But I regret every time staying up late and not taking care of my body. This is just an example. And there's a maturity here. So it's not just self-care in, oh, it's bath bombs and champagne every night. There's a maturity that comes with the Queen of Cups. You've been on a journey for quite some time. You're not a baby turtle. You are a full-grown queen sea turtle, you know, in the deep ocean, on your way to whatever it is that you are, you know, trying to accomplish for yourself. There is a sense of self-awareness, of self-acceptance, and like I said, those boundaries about healthy and very aware and grounded self-care. Things that you actually need to address, you know, whether that's your sleep habits, your drinking habits, your eating habits, allowing people in your life who disrespect you, who step over your boundaries, to mistreat you over and over again, and learning those lessons of like, I love you very much, but the way that this relationship is making me feel in my life is it's not the kind of care that I need to give myself right now. I need to have space for relationships that help me grow in self-acceptance and love, right? That kind of a thing. There's a maturity to it. Sorry to get off on a lecture. That's just the energies that I'm getting off this card with that sense of maturity. We're all on different parts of our journey, but Spirit wants to talk to you specifically about this energy, about taking care of yourself and having that maturity to be sort of like you've done the work, you're in a receptive state. You're not like enforcing these boundaries. This card represents that you have already done work in regards to some area of the themes that we've already sort of discussed. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit and your spirit guides, your angels, if we can get any further information. What are the messages that they want to talk to you, Pile 3, about with this journey of self-love, self-acceptance, self-care, and ultimately emotional fulfillment, stability, and maturity? Gosh, that's a beautiful thing. How many of us have been trying to heal? How many of us have been in therapy? How many of us have been like wanting to understand how to have healthy relationships. Okay, we're going to take this card because it really wants to come out. Oh, I love that. Okay. I want to get a couple more cards before we start, you know, doing the divining. Yeah. Oh, pile threes. You guys have been through a lot. This is my pile that is, they're survivors. You guys are survivors. Those are my last two. Oh, we're going to get 3 here for you guys because it wanted to come out. Let's see. What do we, oh, you guys. Oh, Spirit is so sweet. I love readings like this. Oh, so my pile threes. You've been through it, like I said. Okay, so let's get into it. We've got the Magpie or the 7 of Feathers. Okay, this is, you have been having to pick up the pieces of other people's messes in general, emotionally. This is a mental space, mental capacity. So this could also be conversations. This could be limiting beliefs. This could be people like just crapping on you, people like trying to bring you down, people not believing in you, people leaving you high and dry, that kind of a thing. The 7 of Feathers, the 7 of Swords is this feeling of you're picking up the pieces from a war that was not yours, something that you didn't do to deserve these things, basically. But what this Magpie, I love this card in this deck specifically because the symbolism is beautiful. You have the rainbow, which every pile has had a rainbow in some form in the cards. And as you can see, they're not in all of the cards. They're only in a few of them. So the rainbow symbolism here is like you were able to find the silver lining, if you will, to be the bigger person. Not that it was easy or even justified or right to be the bigger person. Some of us have to be not the bigger person for it to be right for us, you know? But in this instance, this is what Spirit is talking about. There have been moments where you were the bigger person, where you picked up the pieces on your own, where you were mature. You were the only mature one doing the right thing, surrounded by, you know, imbeciles, essentially. People just leaving you to do it by yourself. But you found the key where they saw a field of feathers and they didn't want to take part in it. They might have thrown the feathers there to confuse you and you're just trying to get the key. Whatever the situation may be, it's going to be different for all of you because this is a general read. But this key here and this rainbow is Spirit talking about you finding maturity and how you've handled that sort of environment and situation that's been brought to you. Having to pick up the pieces for other people. Maybe it's your adult parents, you know, maybe it's toxic work environments or toxic relationships or religious trauma, that kind of a thing. You are picking up the pieces by yourself. And then the 5 of Fossils, the 5 of Pentacles, or the donkey, this is talking about a feeling of lack, a feeling of you're like so close to success and abundance, you know, maybe your whole family is really wealthy, but because you're the black sheep of the family or because you've done things differently, you've been kept out of opportunities and experiences. Maybe you have been surrounded by people who help other people all the time and you felt skipped out on. A lot of people divine this card differently. I just read the energy. So the energy is giving me that there's been injustice done to you, which has caused you to grow in this emotional maturity. This has come with, you implementing boundaries, you going through those hard relationships to know what you deserve in the end. That kind of environment where there's a lot of pain, a lot of exhaustion, a lot of confusion on like, why is nobody else showing up in this way that I am? However, Spirit is wanting to address all of these things. You are being portrayed as the Queen of Cups, somebody who is mature, somebody who knows about the self-love. And despite the things that you've been through that have given you perspective and wisdom and maturity on how to become this person for yourself, you are coming into, or maybe you are already surrounded by people that you can feel relaxed around. You can feel comfortable around, because the celebration is one that comes with a depth. The depth of you and this card, this celebratory vibe. This is going out to dinner with friends, having drinks with friends. This is, you know, being able to buy your best friend a birthday present. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but like, we're living in reality, like that's reality for a lot of us right now. Feeling like you have the energy to socialize in general. That's what this is. This is celebration with people that you feel safe around. That's the Three of Cups, the card of celebratory, you know, collective celebratory energy. You with your friends, specifically with people that you do, or family, but people that you feel comfortable around because you have been mature. So the things that you've been through in the past by people who were not these people, you now have this energy entering into your life, if it has not already. I have a feeling that for many of you, you either are beginning to experience this, you're beginning to see this and feel this lightheartedness because you are the Queen of Cups. So you have that maturity, that expectation. So you know what you deserve, and that has attracted the right people to you. We also have the Hierophant, or in this deck, the Bull, the keeper of sacred tradition. I love this because whenever the Hierophant comes out, I struggled a lot in my spiritual journey to believe that I had the authority, the spiritual authority, to decide for myself and understand for myself what was right for me. Because I grew up in a very toxic church environment where everything, who I was going to marry, what job I was going to have, every single decision in my life had to go through another person, specifically a leader in the church. And they were given authority. They were put in leadership by God over me, right? So coming out of that thought process, realizing that I have the authority to decide for myself spiritually and energetically and emotionally. You, Spirit, and your guides are talking about you have the spiritual authority to decide for yourself what traditions you want to keep, what family relationships you want to keep, what you want to keep from your childhood, what you want to keep from previous spiritual experiences, what you want to keep from memories from toxic and problematic situations from the past. You have the authority to build your tradition, to build your foundation for yourself. This is coming in for you. Celebration, feeling empowered to know that you are the one that decides. You're the one that decides what feels safe for you. You're the one that decides what feels fulfilling to you. You have that authority. We also have some pretty interesting cards. It's just bonus messages that are coming out. We have the Dog, or the 10 of Pentacles, which I love this card so much. I just want to be there and snuggle those dogs and hang out with with all of them in that field. This is the card of the 10 of Pentacles. This is generational wealth. This is leaving behind a legacy, something that your children and grandchildren can carry on. It has a physical weight to it. So it could be finances. It could be like a business, brand, family ranch, like whatever it is. That's what this card traditionally represents. Given in the cards that we have, the messaging that we have, you have celebration, authority, and I do think that the word legacy is coming through for me. Like, I really think that what you are doing is something that people are going to be able to look to and really gain a lot of wisdom from. You've had to be the mature one. You've had to be the bigger person. You've had to pick up the pieces where people left you with the mess. And that gives you this wisdom, this strength that you can pass down to your future generations or your friends and family who are watching. And I'm not saying that you have to actively do this. There's just an element of legacy here. There's just an element of stability here. Now, if this is something that you have had to work for, if like this is a message specifically that you and Spirit have as like no, I want my children and grandchildren to have financial stability. Like, I want to change the way that I've done things. And that has been a part of your specific journey in self-care, self-acceptance, self-love. Maybe that's been different than what your family wanted for you, kind of a thing. So you've been learning how to be on your own, to, you know, pave your own path, and you can celebrate and know that you're the one that has the authority to do that. And that's going to affect karmically, spiritually, financially, monetarily, that kind of a thing. It's going to affect more than just you. This is something that's like a big deal. Like, healing is a big deal. Being able to walk through mental health crisis is a really big deal. Those are all things that come along with the Queen of Cups, with the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles as like the beginning message of why these things are being brought up. And this is fruit. This is product of, this is what happens. This is the results of healing, doing the work, setting those boundaries, having maturity, choosing to do what you know to be the right thing to do, whether or not you're getting help from anybody else, acknowledgement from anybody else, that kind of a thing. And so naturally, you're getting that legacy. You're getting that big impact because you've been what so many people that you've been surrounded by in your life could not be for you. So that's just a cool side message here. And then we also have the Nine of Cups, the salmon with another rainbow, and this represents wish fulfillment. This represents something secret that you have been wanting. This is, again, just another blessing. My pile threes, you've got a lot coming in for you. Spirit and your guides want to talk about the fact that, like, you should be celebrating. You should feel confident in your decisions. You should accept it when people say that you've changed their life, or they've watched you walk through this thing and they've learned so much from you. They've healed just by being with you. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. Like, and then there's this wish, this desire, this thing, this manifestation that is coming in for you. And this could be all of these things. Like, maybe all of these things are things that you've been praying for, that you've been wishing for. But the work that you've done emotionally, it's giving such depth to me. This reading is not just about, oh, good job, you have self-acceptance and you don't take no shit. Like, there's a lot of weight here. We've got legacy, we've got tradition, we've got wish fulfillment, we've got celebration coming up. What's the bottom deck? I mean, we've got 10 of Cups. This is family, happiness, fulfillment. So with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups coming up, yeah, this is big. This is heavy. This is a big, big deal for those that are watching in my pile three. It's going to be different for each of you. I don't know specifically what this is talking about, but I have a feeling that many of you who are watching understand exactly what Spirit is trying to talk about. And there's a lot of messages in the bottom, but I feel like y'all are definitely coming up on some sort of like completion of like some sort of cycle, soul cycle, karmic cycle, past life cycle, whatever it is that resonates with you. There's something big that you've done, and Spirit is so ready to get you into all of these blessings, to grant your prayers, your wishes, your secret desires. And for it to be long-lasting, something that you can sort of trust in. So now we're getting some astrology cards. All of us are affected by whatever astrology is happening to the collective. Eclipses and retrogrades, you name it. But each of us have an individual natal chart, and I like to get a specific astrology correlation. For those of you watching that, you know, maybe there's an additional message behind what this planet is doing in your specific chart currently as you're watching this, or when you're just studying this planet, you know, maybe there's further messages that you can integrate from what Spirit is bringing up today as well. So Spirit, can you give me pile three's astrology correlations, please? How can they integrate this message of what seems to be just you celebrating them, less of you bringing forth this like big message and you just really encouraging and reassuring pile 3 of how much work they've just been putting in. And we've got Aquarius. You may or may not be into the messaging of the age of Aquarius, but this past spring equinox and Easter time period, the lunar eclipse, all of that, it was the official bringing in the age of Aquarius, in the sense that bottom deck energy, we have the moon, Luna. So moon cycles for my pile 3, as well as Aquarius. Yeah, whether it's the age of Aquarius, because the planets take a long time to all station themselves. It takes years and years and years for some planets to all officially come into that sort of new energy. Astrologers believe that that's what was happening currently, whether you have Aquarius placement in your chart, whether you, want to learn more about what Aquarius represents, what's like correlated and associated with Aquarius. There's something about Aquarius and the moon that will help you integrate this message further. So I thought it would be fun today to do an oracle deck with these story cards that I got at the thrift store with my son, who's learning to read. They have critters and creatures and action cards, sort of just magical little phrases. And I thought we would just use it as an oracle deck for today. Spirit, can we get any further messages for pile 3 about this journey that they've been on, this like extremely beautiful, deep journey? My pile 3s. Synchronicities, messages. Anything further for my pile 3. Oh! Well, that one flew off the camera, so I'm just going to finish this shuffle. Let's see if there's any more that came out. Grab this one. Talkative bison. I've got a talkative bison here. So, what I feel from this is don't be afraid to tell your story. Don't have like a feeling that what you have been through, especially with this legacy card and this family fulfillment or like long-term emotional fulfillment for you and those that you're doing life with, be bold in feeling like you can talk about it to other people. You're meant to talk about it to other people. Maybe this is also verbal processing. This is acknowledging that you've either been in therapy or you have been somebody who wasn't afraid to share their story, their testimony, their experiences, whatever that may be. Let's see what the bottom deck energy is. We've got Daring Deer. With the 2 cards, with everything that's here, the Daring Deer and the Talkative Bison, like, yeah, dare to feel confident enough to be able to say, what your personal experience is with this healing journey that you've been on, with these boundaries, with the self-acceptance. More often than not, like, we all need to hear authenticity. We desire so desperately to hear somebody who's just real. And I know that with social media that we have this performative authenticity where it's trendy to become vulnerable and emotional on social media. And there are many people who do that and capitalize on the empathy of others in order to, do their career, for instance. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this authentic bravery to talk about how hard it was for you to go through these things, the wisdom that you've experienced from these, difficult emotional experiences that you had to gain maturity from, that you had to understand was not for you. How did you deal with that? How did you handle that? And be able to say it boldly. So often when we make mistakes, all of us make mistakes, but when we make mistakes, or when something is makes us emotionally vulnerable, or it becomes like really difficult to talk about, traumatizing, triggering, etc., talking through that is so powerful and can add so much to our own personal healing, because it's finding your voice again after trauma. And also, so many other victims can feel validated in hearing their stories reflected in someone else and seeing decisions that you've made as something that's empowering to them. So anyway, that's a side message with the Oracle deck, but I do think that this pile, my pile 3s, like, you definitely should not feel afraid to talk it out, or to seek therapy, or to share your experiences, writing a book, a podcast, having conversations with people, going on social media to talk about your experiences. That's just a side message. But anyway, so thank you so much, pile 3s, for coming and doing this reading with me. Your guides had a lot to talk about, mainly just acknowledging your fortitude and your strength and your depth, but also just being like, listen, you're going to be celebrating. You are going to find the people that you feel safe with. You're going to feel empowered in knowing that you have the authority to decide for yourself. You are somebody that will have legacy, whether that's with a family of your own, or through that other people really feeling inspired and connected to your story. We have the wish fulfillment card. We have the family, happiness fulfillment card. Aquarius and the moon. And all of these things coming together are really just Spirit acknowledging that there's so much happening in your life because you deserve it. You've worked for it. You have done so much to get yourself through the things that you've been through up until this point. And now it's time to experience all of the good things that come from that. So be open to that, be looking out for that. You can trust that if that's something you're experiencing now currently, that you definitely are meant to experience that. Don't have imposter syndrome. Talk about it. Be bold. Be excited. Yeah. So these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you. If you like tarot readings like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys next time.